This is probably the most simple way to think about it without getting all too complicated. In this day and age, not all backpacks are rucksacks, but all rucksacks are backpacks. In layman's, that's a fine way to define exactly where the rucksack nestles itself within the backpack space, a subcategory so to speak, but we'll go just a bit further. The word rucksack itself has Germanic roots and were purpose-built for serious hauling. The very first iterations crafted for the military and military training, large capacities, highly technical, extremely durable materials, cavernous main compartments, and while this should go for most backpacks, a tailored and highly comfortable on-body experience with straps and hip belts that transfer the weight off the shoulders and allow the legs to do all the hard work. In this hands-on guide, we put some of our most capable favorites to the test to see how well they actually performed. We'll of course provide plenty of technical information, and then we'll relay our honest assessment to see which lived up to the hype and which, if any, fell short. So let's get to it with our first pick from Fjallraven. Since 1960, Swedish outfit Fjallraven has produced colorful, Nordic-inspired bags purpose-built for embarking on adventures in the outdoors. Rucksacks have extensive outdoor use history. Think hiking, backpacking, exploring, and as such, we wanted to highlight one of our favorites for doing so, the Fjallraven HICONSUMPTION Foldsack. Clocking in at 24 liters in capacity by way of a 17.7-inch height, 10.2-inch width, and a 7.8-inch depth, the HICONSUMPTION Foldsack is a versatile mid-capacity rucksack built with a flap-down or roll-top construction, sewn together with Bergshell 400D 100% polyamide and 100% polyamide 210D, also recycled. Lightly padded shoulder straps and a padded back panel, an adjustable sternum strap, a hip belt, standard inclusions, but well constructed with fairly simple hardware. But for the $100 price point, it feels just about right. Nothing overly cheap, but nothing at all premium either. Although the materials themselves do provide a good degree of water resistance, as does the fold-over closure, the bag isn't recommended for serious use in wet conditions, as none of the zip jacks are waterproof and there are no tape seams or welding in use anywhere. We do wish Fjallraven beefed up the water resistance with a DWR coating and some water-resistant zips, especially since this bag is marketed for outdoor use, for peace of mind. As such, keep in mind that anything that you'd like to stay as dry as possible, stow away under the fold in the main compartment. On the exterior, you get two equally sized water bottle sleeves which aren't elastic but will accommodate most standard sized water bottles with average diameters, and one external zip pocket on the front face which also houses Fjallraven's signature Red Fox logo. There's also a little Swedish Easter egg behind one of the water bottle pockets as well that adds a touch of charm. In terms of hardware, you have fairly standard inclusions all across the bag, except for a notably premium metal hook that secures the roll or fold-over closure to the front face of the bag with a single strip of vertical webbing. The interior did surprise us. From the outside, it looks markedly smaller than the 24-liter would have you believe, and we were able to fit in arguably just as much carry as some of our larger bags thanks to the undivided main compartment. Admittedly, it was a snug fit, but here's what we packed in. Two water bottles, one at 320 milliliters, the other at 680, a watch roll and sunglasses case in the front zip, in the main compartment a hoodie, laptop charger, over-ear headphones, and two EDC pouches, in the only internal zip, some small highly utilized EDC and a ring of keys attached to the key leash, and a 13-inch laptop within the suspended sleeve you can see is not all that much smaller than the pack itself. At $100, this is our most budget-friendly rucksack. For the folks who can only hit light trails on the weekends, take day trips, or otherwise live in drier environments, the HICONSUMPTION Foldsack at 24 liters will get the job done and haul plenty of carry for a day's worth of adventure. All in all, this pack surprised us because it doesn't look nearly as expansive as a 24-liter pack usually presents from the outside, but the large main compartment and pseudo roll-top style closure really allow you to max out the capable carry. We'd love to see some more water-resistant tech built into the next generation, like the main compartment zipper and perhaps a slightly more robust sternum strap. But otherwise, 2 thumbs up for a just get this budget rucksack from one of the best outdoor-focused carry brands around. Next, we're increasing the MSRP but decreasing the capacity with Chrome Industries' 18-liter Barrage cargo backpack, our pick for the best cycling rucksack from a San Francisco-based commuter-focused brand founded in 1995 by some of the same folks behind Mission Workshop, another cycling-focused enterprise that we'll get to in just a bit. If you're into highly technical-looking packs, at a quick glance this pack will certainly excite. The exterior's 22-inch height, 11.7-inch width, and 6-inch depth is overwhelmed by a cargo webbing net that expands with the aid of 4 front buckles. What Fjallraven neglects in the way of waterproofing, Chrome embraces, sewing the Barrage together with hyper-premium technical materials with a considerable amount of water resistance, making the roll-top compartment virtually watertight. We're talking 1050D nylon, Red X, Black XRF, 210D recycled nylon, X-grid laminate sailcloth, Castle Rock recycled polyester twill, and backed up with 500D TPE tarp. Plus the interior's constructed with a floating, welded waterproof bucket liner for easy cleaning and increased protection. For anyone in the know, chrome signatures are littered around the exterior. Winged lion logos, their infamous mini seatbelt buckled sternum strap, reflective stripes in the center of all major straps, and red accented zip pulls, a nod to the company's overall black and red branding schematic. As a cycling-focused company, Chrome's use of padding is dialed. The back panel features scale-like, highly comfortable high-density foam patches, and the shoulder straps use an even more breathable padded mesh, making the Barrage cargo backpack one of the most comfortable on-body rucksacks in this guide by far. So here's what we were able to carry inside the Barrage cargo backpack. Within the front webbing, a thick hoodie secured down with the 4 side buckles, a 680ml water bottle stowable on either side pocket, a small notebook and a wallet within a quick access front pocket hiding behind the mesh, and now onto the main compartment, where we packed in some sunglasses, a watch roll, a laptop charger, over-ear headphones, 2 EDC pouches, and a laptop in the dedicated suspended sleeve. All in all, decent for a day's worth of EDC, but certainly not enough room for the rucksack to pull double duty for any more than that. Rucksacks and commuter cycling packs more or less go hand in hand. Their tailored on-body constructions are meant to keep the bag in place during brief bouts of really high-intensity activity, all while transporting a full day's worth of heavy carry. The Barrage cargo backpack delivers with both and does so very simply via the single main compartment protected by a highly waterproof exterior. Look here if you need a commuting rucksack companion, especially if you live in an area prone to unpredictable weather. Rucksacks were originally what you could consider very rudimentary backpacks that didn't come with all the bells and whistles we appreciate now in terms of hardware and advanced materials. A lot of manufacturers have used these very rudimentary one-compartment forms as blueprints to craft their bags, and one such supplier is Topo Designs, who have used these iconic rucksack forms to craft the Rover Pack Premium, our pick for the best vintage-inspired rucksack backpack. Now, we picked the qualifier vintage deliberately, since the Rover Pack Premium uses a flap, fold-over design, and 2 front buckles that are palpably reminiscent of the very first rucksacks used in the armed forces and in early mountaineering to transport gear. For this qualifier, you could have just as easily argued Filson here, but we have them featured later as our favorite heirloom-worthy pick based on its heritage and overall build quality, so don't worry, we didn't leave them out. Anyway, the Rover Pack Premium is, as you guessed it, the step up from the standard Rover Pack that sees the nylon base and raises it with a bolstered TPE-coated ripstop and a full 1000D nylon cinch top upper. By way of dimensions measuring 18 inches high by 11 inches wide by 5 inches deep, the Rover Pack Premium maintains a 20-liter maximum volume in a traditional rectangular form, most of which comprises the cavernous main compartment. While the form is vintage-inspired and rucksacks were first developed and tested in rural locales, the Rover Pack Premium was designed for use in urban environments with an all-black head-to-toe build that would look the part in the right office environment, depending on your line of work. Case in point, the premium hardware details like the metal color-matched hardware, the padded laptop sleeve that is not suspended, by the way, and large, sleek color-matched YKK zippers. We're not saying you can't use the Rover Pack Premium outdoors, because as elevated as it looks, it packs in serious specs in terms of waterproofing, giving the TPE-coated ripstop and 1000D nylon. Here's what we took us to test out the Rover Pack Premium. A 320ml and 680ml water bottle within the elastic side sleeves, a pair of sunglasses and some useful gear in the front zip pocket, which builds in a bit of latticing for any sort of EDC with clips, like pens, knives, or flashlights, a wallet, and a few personal care items. The side pocket is technically real estate for a laptop, but it can double as a place to stow away a notebook as well if you choose to stow yours away in the main compartment like we did. Keep in mind that none of the backpack's compartments are suspended for the laptop. Under a cinchable main compartment that stays secure with a push-button cord lock, we fit a hoodie, laptop charger, over-ear headphones, 2 EDC pouches, a few notebooks, and a laptop in the dedicated, non-suspended sleeve. Okay, well technically there is a dedicated laptop pocket in the back protected with a vertical zip if you'd rather stow yours away here. But keep in mind, we found that it was a tight fit with our 13-inch laptop wrapped up in a protective sleeve, and none of the compartments are suspended. And not to forget, there is a little zip pocket within the top flap that's a great place to stow away anything that's highly utilized like sunglasses, a watch roll, a phone, etc. Seeing as the Rover Pack Premium is about $70 more than the base Rover Pack, the question is a matter of value. Does it pack in enough to justify the increase? In our opinion, yes, because it's not just the bolstered bottom panel, it's the upgraded hardware from the metal to the plastic, a redesigned back panel with a better on-body experience, and a few handy urban-centric features, our favorite of which is the quick access external laptop compartment that really hugs your back. Topo Designs also has a specific focus on sustainability, which is certainly something we can get behind. We're talking fair wear certified production, bags made with 100% nylon with high abrasion resistance to prolong the lifespan of the bag as much as possible, sourcing their materials from certified dye mills, metal hardware to minimize the use of plastics, and the bag, along with most of their other products, are backed by Topo Design's MAP Guarantee Repairs program, which has your back in case of any major issues. From Baghdad to New York City is GORUCK's overarching narrative, and those simple words speak volumes about the folks behind the brand and the quality of the products that they create. Jason and Emily McCarthy, former Special Forces soldier and CIA operations officer, helm Florida-based GORUCK, who craft hyper-engineered and fully American-made rucking equipment and carry solutions built with life-or-death quality standards, and those are their words, not ours. Today we're taking a look at the GR1 that comes in two sizes, a 21-liter and a 26-liter. The 26-liter sporting a 12-inch width, a 20-inch height, and a 6.75-inch depth, and weighs just about 3 pounds unpacked. Of course, intended application is key, but for an all-arounder, we'd recommend the larger 26-liter size, which we have here with an updated 210D Cordura back panel after GORUCK's 4-year testing phase with the Rucker, another hard-wearing GORUCK bag specifically made for the sport. Our best American-made rucksack, the GR1, is bomb-proof, or so they say, with regards to the suspended laptop compartment that's tucked inside. Even if that is a fancy bit of marketing jargon, the extremely hard-wearing nature of the backpack comes by way of the 1000D Cordura outer, a ballistics-grade textile that speaks volumes about its durability. Their backpacks, rucksacks, and footwear are backed by GORUCK's Scars Lifetime Guarantee. Reading between the lines, GORUCK believes in their products so much so that they actually dare you to try and wear them out. If you manage to do so, they will, at their discretion of course, fix or replace your item free of charge. Now that the GR1 has this updated back panel, it's even more hard-wearing than ever. Let's walk you through it. Like we said, 1000D Cordura on the outside with 3 rows of MOLLE on the front, and both of the sides as well as strips that run along the shoulder straps here. Now, this is the 210D that we're talking about on the back panel and along the interior portion of the shoulder straps. It has a noticeably shinier appearance and is really comfortable on person. GORUCK backpacks are fairly simple affairs, but as we said, for longevity, simplicity is often king. You only get one outside slant pocket protected with that highly weather-resistant 1000D Cordura via a zip flap, and it runs the length of the front face's diameter with a YKK zipper and coated zipper pulls constructed from parachute 550 cord. Inside, the front pocket is undivided and open and extends to the bottom of the flat padded base. Because of its mid-range 26-liter capacity, GORUCK categorizes the GR1 as a capable travel rucksack. The main compartment, as you'll see in just a moment, provides plenty of room for a few days' worth of carry, and the extremely hard-wearing Cordura construction ensures that any amount of weight it carries, including GORUCK's own weighted rucking panels, will not be an issue. The GR1 only has one external slant pocket in the front, large enough for a pair of over-ear headphones, but obviously endless possibilities here. In the main compartment, which opens up in a clamshell style via a large U-shaped track, 26 liters holds quite a bit, and we could definitely have maxed out even more than what you'll see here. In the front opaque pocket, a watch roll, pair of sunglasses, and a few personal care items, a standard size composition book which you could orient in either direction and still be fine, a laptop charger, hoodie, 2 EDC pouches, a 680ml water bottle since the exterior does not have any sleeves, a few pieces of gear within the clips hanging onto the 3x6 lattice of MOLLE, and of course the laptop, which we stowed away in an elastic sleeve. Okay, so technically there is a dedicated and suspended or bomb-proof laptop compartment, as they say in the back right here, but you can also just as easily tuck in a laptop in this interior sleeve, which was originally crafted for rucking plates and is a staple on pretty much every GORUCK bag. The GR1 and GORUCK's other bags are built for a lifetime of use, and we think we can all agree that these words can be an exaggeration wielded by enthusiastic marketing teams. But in this case, it's true, and the GR1's been thoroughly vetted by vets, ruckers, and civilians to prove this point. If they weren't, GORUCK wouldn't have the Grail status reputation that they do now. If you couldn't tell, we're big fans of the GR1 and GORUCK's other offerings, so it's tough to levy any critique. The full 1000D outer, redesigned back panel, internal frame sheet to help with on-body stability, heaps of handy MOLLE webbing, perfect capacity, and the easy-to-access clamshell axis style makes the GR1 one of our absolute favorites for serious hauling. We touched on this point in our introduction, but the rucksack form has extensive use history and roots in military application. Essentially, the packs were simple affairs with minimal organization that were built with seriously hard-wearing materials. And we're talking early iterations that were actually mostly built with metal sheets. Then, as fabrics developed, heavy-duty canvas became the norm, which then ushered in recent developments like Cordura, laminate textiles, etc. Like many other styles of gear developed for the military, like the Field Watch to the MA1 bomber jacket to a pair of aviators, the styles have bled over into civilian life, and there are plenty of manufacturers who have taken heaps of inspiration to create their own takes on these iconic silhouettes. San Francisco-based Dispatch has followed suit, building the Dispatch Ruckpack with a vintage look but backed up by modern ballistic nylon and plenty of purpose-built organization for modern everyday carry, which makes it our pick for the best EDC Ruckpack. The Ruckpack is made right here in the USA, so right out of the gate, this little tag instills a good deal of confidence. The Ruckpack locks in at 10.5 inches wide by 19 inches high by 7.5 inches deep, which provides 25 liters of total capacity laid out in a 5-pocket configuration. This model is currently offered in a few different material constructions. Our pick is the 1680D ballistic nylon with an added DWR coating to beef up the water resistance, but there are alternatives by way of Dockrid, Dyneema, and EcoPack 450 RS. Although the Ruckpack is categorically modern, the style has vintage flair with a pseudo flap-down fold-over cover at the top that in this case has been elasticized with 2 buckled straps that keep it secured, like the ones of yesteryear, which would traditionally use metal hardware and leather straps to secure the top flap to the main compartment of the bag. Think Filson. There are 3 small EDC-friendly pockets on the front and top and 2 equally sized elastic water bottle pockets on the back sides. The bag's flat bottom panel is cinchable with 2 compression straps if needed. The back panel and the shoulder straps use the same degree of padding, which is really not much in this case and leaves a little bit to be desired if carrying a particularly heavy load. And there's an adjustable sternum strap and a removable luggage pass-through, but no included hip belt. Alright, now we took with us a 320ml and 680ml water bottle, a watch roll, and some personal care items within the front pocket, which you're able to access from the exterior and interior, a laptop charger, over-ear headphones, 2 EDC pouches, a hoodie, some EDC clipped to the 2 interior slip pockets, as well as a few pieces of tech and a charging cord, a wallet, some literature just in front of our laptop, and said 13-inch laptop you can access either from the front, as shown, or through the drawstring opening at the top as demonstrated. In the back of the pack is a suspended laptop sleeve, but only by an inch or 2, that hugs the back panel, which you can choose to use for your laptop, or some fragile literature like we did here. Last but certainly not least, the top flap, like we saw with the Rover Pack Premium, builds in 2 zip pockets for quick access. Think some keys or an AirTag holder or a pair of sunglasses on the large unit at the top. Overall, we're fans, but we do have a few thoughts on ways any next iteration could only be improved. At the end of the day, this is a rucksack just north of $300, which by no means is a small investment. So we expected some more beefy hardware, a more comfortable and thought-through back panel, and some shoulder straps in terms of padding and materials, and overall, we wouldn't at all be mad about the addition of a large central buckle on the front face exterior to keep the elastic fold-over panel that much more secured, similar to the Mission Workshop's Rambler. We also would have liked to seen the topmost stash pocket, which is most often reserved for a smartphone, lined with tripod. Minor details, but for $305, details do matter. Build in some AquaGuard zip tracks to the YKK units already present, and we think the Dispatch Ruckpack could be an even more well-suited EDC-capable contender. Although there are plenty of arguments that could be made that the rucksacks that we reviewed so far could be capable all-arounders or go anywhere do anything rucksack, so to speak, we thought that it would be helpful to include at least a best overall pick. And what better rucksack to take the crown than Mission Workshop's notorious Rhake? This moss-colored unit cut together from premium, highly protective VX21 X-Pack from Dimension Polyant. VX21 specifically is a multi-layer laminate textile. DWR 210 denier plain weave nylon face, backed by a polyester film, then post-consumer recycled polyester X-ply at 22 degrees, and then a 50 denier polyester taffeta backing. The material itself is waterproof and highly abrasion resistant, but of course needs to be assembled with the process of welding in order to make the backpack 100% undeniably waterproof. Although the Rhake is highly waterproof by way of AquaGuard zip tracks, roll-top compartments, and the full X-Pack exterior, Mission Workshop does still use stitching to piece together the bag, so at a certain point water incursion will occur. As a note, we did not fully submerge the bag to test at what point this will occur, so proceed at your own risk. However, our staff has experienced some substantial prolonged downpours and the rucksack held up just fine as designed. Okay, now the Rhake is a vertically oriented bag more so than most, with dimensions measuring 21 inches in height by 13 inches wide by 5 inches deep, and provides 22 liters of total capacity, most of which by way of a central main compartment. The Rhake uses a series of external pockets in addition to the main real estate. The two most identifiable are the U-shaped one sewn into the front face, then there's another horizontal zip pocket hugging the bottom panel, a tablet behind all three, and of course the main compartment closest to the body. On the 180, Mission Workshop doesn't mess around in terms of ensuring a premium on-body experience. Plenty of back padding, but just enough space between them for air to flow freely if the back isn't super tight against the back. Of course, everyone's going to require a different amount of airflow in terms of moisture wicking, but we feel it does a very solid job in comparison to a lot of other backpacks that we've had experience of reviewing. Most users shouldn't have an issue. The shoulder straps are fairly standard with virtually the same degree of padding as the back panel, perhaps just a touch less overall. This is an important point now getting to the sternum strap. The VX spec Rhake ships with more premium Fidlock magnetic buckles that allow for one-handed operation and deployment. They're also super fidgety and really satisfying to use. Like we said, details matter, and as one of our most expensive picks at just shy of $550, we appreciate that Mission Workshop gave us a hardware upgrade. That being said, if that doesn't quite quench your thirst, they do offer 1-inch Cobra buckle sets by Austria Alpin. As a last note before moving on to the interior, Mission Workshop builds in their proprietary archive system that allows you to latch on additional accessories to the outside panels of the shoulder straps, like a phone pouch or other zip pockets for stashing away highly utilized on-the-go EDC. Moving on, let's walk you through the compartments one by one. At the very bottom is a pocket that we found is great for a small water bottle. Just above, under the Fidlock V-buckles, the left pocket comes with more organization than the right to stow away personal care EDC, keys built onto the built-in key leash, an AirTag holder, a pair of AirPods, and a charging cord, and there is one small pocket cut out for a pen, but we found that the pen's clip actually prevents the adjacent zippered pocket from closing completely. Same held true when we clipped on a knife, unless you completely disregard the clip altogether and sink it into the pocket completely. In the other pocket, it's unorganized and large enough for a watch roll and a pair of sunglasses, but you can just as easily store a small water bottle in here as well. Just above you have your tablet compartment or literature or notebook compartment if you lead a less digital life. Now the main compartment hides under a flap that can also be rolled up and secured with a Velcro and J-hook system. The more you pack in, the harder it is to use the roll top method, so just a side note. Anyway, we packed a hoodie, a laptop charger, over-ear headphones, 2 EDC pouches, and a composition book in the Rucksack's only interior zip pocket. Next to last is a dedicated laptop zip pocket allowing the computer to hug your back for extra protection, and on the 180, a small pocket that hides an elastic cord lock stowable water bottle sleeve, which also doubles as a small, quick access EDC pocket when that's not in use. At the end of the day, $545 is no small investment, and it's certainly a price that reflects its fully American-made build. And once you start pushing into this range, you have to mince the details and assess its use case against the reality of your day-to-day. So is the Rhake worth it? Does it offer what you need for your specific lifestyle? There's no question, it's a highly unique bag with some of the best fabrication in the entire industry, with premium hardware inclusions, well-thought-through organization, and hyper-premium materials. So here's our 2 cents. The Rhake excels in well-thought-through organization while doing so in a visibly unique way that visually sets itself apart from the pack. It's technical but not tactical, which is becoming increasingly harder to find. You get close with brands like Orbit Gear out of Jakarta, but even still their bags are notably more maximalist. Although the VX spec doesn't use a welded construction, the full X-Pack exterior YKK AquaGuard zippers and roll top and fold over pocket designs lend itself to generous amounts of waterproofing that should be sufficient for 99% of folks who will use this pack for all-around use. We also love the upgrade from the standard Duraflex hardware to the Fidlocks present on the front face of the bag, so you're not only getting a material upgrade with the VX spec, but a hardware upgrade as well. That being said, there are a few potential negatives that will of course be user-specific. Keep in mind that although the pack does appear larger externally, especially from the front by way of the lengthy vertical dimension, the capacity is only 22 liters, and most of that comes by way of the main compartment. The rucksack is actually quite slim in profile. Also keep in mind that the main compartment's liner is not secured, so if you have a tight-fitting piece of gear or some clothing, chances are the liner's coming right out with it. It does this for easy cleaning, but at times when you're moving quickly, it can become a little bit of a nuisance to stuff back in each and every time. Filson is considered by many to be the preeminent heritage supplier of grill status bags. Filson set up shop in the 1890s and rode the Pacific Northwest's gold rush frenzy, supplying hardware and goods for some of America's earliest entrepreneurial-oriented pioneers and outdoorsmen. Today, we're taking a look at the American-made Filson Rugged Twill Rucksack as our best heirloom-worthy pick, representing Filson's larger line of Twill bags and backpacks utilizing 22-ounce industrial-strength textile. Filson's prices are high for a reason. They built up their reputation over the span of more than 125 years, and their bags maintain equal parts form and function. Form by way of beautiful materials, rich dyed twill, English bridle leather, and premium brass hardware. Function by way of the weight of said twill, the durability and attention to detail of the construction, and virtual lifetime guarantees of the metal hardware that trumps most other typical materials. We got hands-on with the large version, which offers up a generous 30-liter capacity by way of a 21-inch height, an 18-inch width, and a 5 to 6-inch depth. The front face sports typical heritage Filson styling, with heaps of bridle leather including the trim, 2 brass buckles for the flap-down fold-over closure, and 2 equally sized external pockets with Filson embossed brass button snaps. The top flap itself doesn't use any other method than the bridle straps to keep it secured, but the hardware and the thickness of the leather is sustainable and more than enough to keep it tethered. Under the top flap is a beefy brass zip and U-shaped zip jack protecting the main compartment. The absolutely beautiful bridle leather details line both sides of the zip jack and bolster its strength and rigidity in the process. On the 180, 2 nearly identical straps to the ones up front are utilized as shoulder straps buckled permanently to the top, and then adjustable with belt-like buckles toward the bottom. Instead of padding on the back panel as most of our other rucksacks built in, Filson opted for a wide, unprotective sleeve for something like a notebook or a tablet. The 4-pocket Twill rucksack offers very little sub-organization, so pack strategically. In the 2 front snap button pockets, we packed a watch roll, a pair of sunglasses, a charging cable, a wallet, wireless earbuds, some personal care items, and a pen. In the main compartment, completely undivided, a hoodie, 2 EDC pouches, a 320ml water bottle, over-ear headphones, reading material, and a notebook, and of course, our 13-inch laptop in a protected sleeve. Last, built into the back panel is a large sleeve, large enough to stow away even more literature or a tablet if you so choose. First and foremost, to fully appreciate this bare-bones bag, you do have to embrace its heritage styling. It won't be for everyone, but it doesn't aim to be. It doesn't come with extensive organization, it isn't the most comfortable on person, and it doesn't offer much in the way of weatherproofing. However, what it lacks in functionality it more than makes up for aesthetically, plus the 22-ounce twill only looks better with time and wear, absorbing and reflecting the character of all the adventures, commutes, or meetings that it sees you through. Seeing as the rucksack's genesis has roots in military application, our guide of the best rucksacks would not be complete without a tactical, military-inspired pick, and Mystery Ranch makes it their mission to support your mission, so our last pick comes from them via the Blitz 35. For over 20 years, since 2000, Mystery Ranch has been a popular destination for serious folks that need serious packs, whether that be for actual military application, in other words the Navy SEALs, or explorers looking to summit their next peak. Mystery Ranch's super capable, tactical inspired bags do lend themselves to just about anyone who needs serious utility. Today we picked the Mystery Ranch Blitz 35 as our choice for the best tactical military-inspired rucksack that 1. Provides plenty of storage, 2. Comes in a true-to-form Mystery Ranch tactical silhouette, and 3. Builds in EDC-friendly daily use features like quick-access laptop storage. 35 liters comes by way of a 21-inch height, a 12.5-inch depth, and a 14.5-inch width sewn together from a hard-wearing 500D Cordura. This pack is large, but purposefully so and capable of hauling a serious amount of carry. We'll show you just how much in a minute, but let's walk you through the exterior layout first. Working our way from the front to the back, the Blitz 35 refers to the quick manner in which you can access the innermost compartment of the bag with a water-protected zip jack that runs from the top all the way to the bottom along the bag's right flank, allowing for really quick access to all your carry at a moment's notice. We love this feature because it still maintains the bucket-like rucksack form, but makes it feel like a clamshell design, as in you don't have to stick your arm far into a cavernous dark compartment and feel around for the gear that you're looking for. Anyway, backtracking a bit, the front face provides 2 small zip pockets with water-protected zip jacks, 1 vertical zip behind them, 2 equally sized elastic water bottle pockets, 1 on each side, molly on the profiles, a quick access laptop pocket toward the back right here, and heaps of padding on the back panel and shoulder straps, the most in this guide by far. There are also 2 nifty stowaway zip pockets on the hip belts, but these do not feature any water protection for some reason like the others. And speaking of the back panel, you'll also need a friend to help you out here for a multi-step back panel adjustment process to properly fit the pack to your torso length. But Mystery Ranch makes this possible by way of a yoke, a plastic adjuster that doubles as a frame sheet, and a telescoping back panel segment. It's a handful of steps we don't quite have the time to highlight in detail here, but they include printed instructions with the pack to walk you through the multi-step process in detail. Alright, now we'll do our best to show how exactly we packed out the Blitz 35 in a way that's not confusing, but there are so many straps, so much hardware, and so many small pockets that it can be hard to keep track of at times, so we do apologize in advance. The frontmost pocket housed a few personal care items, clipped-in EDC, a classic billfold, a 680ml water bottle you can stow on either side, a pair of sunglasses and a watch roll in the topmost pocket built into the top flap, a pair of keys secured to the key leash within the pocket that appears after undoing the top flap, as well as a charging cable, AirTag case, and a pair of wireless earbuds. We'd recommend using these 2 waist belt pockets for grab-and-go EDC, but don't store any tech as the zip tracks don't use any sort of water protection. Now here's the top to bottom zipper that we were talking about earlier. Once you undo a clip and 2 cord-locked elastic drawstrings, you can unzip this and gain access to the main compartment. But before we explore that, one last exterior zip hides a place where you can tuck away something like an extra EDC pouch for any main compartment spillover. In the main compartment, we fit a laptop charger, a hoodie, over-the-ear headphones, a few notebooks, an EDC pouch, and our 13-inch laptop in a suspended sleeve, but truth be told, we probably had about 2 to 3 liters still left over for more gear. Also, you can use this external back panel adjacent zipper to access the laptop without having to undo all the drawstrings and buckles of the main compartment. This feature and the integration alone of a dedicated laptop sleeve in a hiking, tactical, military-inspired rucksack is a very notable feature and is quite rare to see. Much like our heritage style pick from Filson, you do have to embrace and align with the Blitz 35 styling first and foremost to appreciate what it offers. If you do appreciate the tactical vibe, then great, this is one of Mystery Ranch's most capable, EDC-friendly rucksacks. Though it probably won't look the part in urban environments, the Blitz 35 has you covered anywhere else on and off the trail. We love that it's just as capable for storing and transporting tech as it is a dedicated hiking and utility pack that can get thrown around and look damn good doing so. There are a few minor requests like water protection on the hip belts, 2 mini pockets, and perhaps a few hardware upgrades, but it's really difficult not to love the obvious thought behind this rucksack. The manner in which it opens fully from the side with a single top to bottom zip track is rare, especially when it comes to rucksacks, so extra points here and 2 thumbs up. And with that, the end of our guide. Thanks for sticking around this far, and be sure to check out our editorial guide as well. We'll catch you next week, and as always, drop us a line below with some of your personal favorite rucksack backpacks.